Welcome back, Satya Academy. We're on day 5 of the 90-90 challenge, and today we are focusing on core. I know you're probably feeling the deep intrinsic core muscles now, working with those QL and multifidi, but now we are moving more to the front. So engaging everything I'm talking about from underneath your collarbone to even the base of your pubic bone. So all the way down the front line of that fascial network, of the abdomen, of the hip flexors, the psoas, and even everything up into your chin, neck, and jaw. So let's start by just finding a comfortable seated position. Closing down the eyes. And dropping into your breath. Let's drop it right down to a 5 count in, 5 count out. And just watching the belly expand on every inhale, contract with each exhale. First step is getting acquainted with our breath. And all the muscles in our core we utilize to breathe deeply. On your next inhale, let's just inhale and retain the breath. Rachaka Kumbhaka is an inhale retention. Kumbhaka, retention. And exhale out. Inhaling again, deep breath. And holding. And exhale out. One more time, deep breath in. Squeezing Mula Bandha, staying tall through the spine. And just feeling the energy start to surge upward as you exhale. Once more. Finding your tallest seat yet. Shifting the shoulders down and back, shifting your torso, your heart space backward. And exhale. Good, let's start by coming on to all fours. Starting with cat-cow, nice gentle movements through our spine. Utilizing the postures as an opportunity to connect with your breath. Inhale, lifting up. And as you exhale, just make sure your toes are in alignment with your knees. Pointing straight back. Exhale, making sure your pointer finger, your first index finger, is pointing forward. Good, now bring the knees just a little closer underneath your hips. Make your stance a little longer, walking your hands forward. Let's lift up the left leg and the right arm. Good, draw the navel in and up. And just pushing all the energy in your left foot backwards, keeping your head in alignment with your spine. Good, drawing the elbow and knee into touch. Exhale fully, lifting up, rounding through the core. And exhale, lower. Opposite side, right leg, left arm. Pushing down through all points that are connected to the mat. So not just your knee, but also the top of your toes, the top of your shin, reaching through the hand and foot. Exhale, let's bring our elbow and knee to touch. Lifting up, rounding through the shoulders, and trying to compress everything to your heart space. Releasing, oh, sorry, I have a frog in my throat. Releasing down to all fours. Again, let's bring the left leg, right arm. And exhale, elbow knee to touch. Moving slowly, inhale, lifting up. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lift. Exhale, contract. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Exhale. Taking your right hand down, open the hips up to the side, extending the leg and extending your left arm all the way to the ceiling. Good. Again, think of this back foot, pushing your toes down, squeezing the glute. Everything is active, reaching equally through both hands, equally through both soles of the feet. And release. Let's take our right leg, left arm, inhale, lifting up, exhale, contract. Inhale, following the breath, and out. There's no rush, just breathing deeply. Thinking about your core, Uddiyana Bandha in the belly. Exhale, hold right here. Pointing your toes, lifting your knee and elbow towards the heart. And taking your left hand down, open the hips, other side. Make sure you feel strong and stacked, and then slowly lifting the right arm up. Lifting your gaze up. Find stillness, recalibrate, fight the wobbles, and release. Good, let's take our right hand right to the center of our mat. Inhale, left arm up. Big twist, letting the hips swing out. Lots of energy through your right hand, the right pinky finger. Slow Ujjayi breathing. Using your exhale to twist back, looking deep into the left corners of the eyes, and release. Replace your right hand with your left. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale to twist a little deeper. Inhale, lift, expanding through the fingers, the chest. Exhale, twist. One more deep breath. Taking your hands down to the ground, flipping the palms up. Bend the elbows, make a tight fist with your hands, thumb on the outside, and slowly straighten, squeezing the hands tighter. Okay, let's do the same thing, but this time take your thumbs in, squeezing. And one more time, finding whichever grip, just make a tight fist. Tucking your toes under, sit back to the heels and shake it out. Good, as we inhale, lifting our arms up, feel how your ribcage wants to expand a little and fight that temptation by squeezing your hips and ribs together. Good, now although we're squeezing here, we don't want our chest to drop. So think about lifting up, making space between that lower rib and your upper rib and your collarbone. your collarbone to your neck. Beautiful. Coming up onto the knees, cactus the arms, pressing your elbow tips up to the ceiling, squeeze the glute. And taking your hands down to the ground. Tucking our toes under, let's lift our knees to hover off the mat, but we're gonna do it on a cat-cow lift. So inhale, drop the belly, gaze up. Pinching your fingertips back. Exhale, just tuck the tailbone in, pinching the hips and ribs together again, and start to lift the knees. Good. So we came in this by activating our bandhas, Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Try to close your eyes and visualize all the energy around your spine, even the cerebral spinal fluid, and drawing it up, this clear iridescent liquid, up, pulsating with the breath, with the heat, with the energy, and release. Good, coming down to the forearms. Press your elbows back, digging them into the ground, drawing them towards the knees, and try to look up through your chin. Pulling the shoulders away from the ears, down towards your spine, your tailbone, and resting in child's pose. Just close your eyes here, letting your body melt to the floor. Integrating your practice so far. And starting to connect a little bit with Manipura. So this is our solar plexus chakra, our belly, where our fire comes from, our strength, our courage, and our willpower. It's the ability to decide and discern and trust in our choices. So visualizing a color yellow here. This is the color we associate with Manipura, the sort of golden sunshine, courageous, liony even energy. And gathering all that up, let's push it back into downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Cueing it up from the feet, we'll just make sure our toes are spread wide. Bending a little bit at the knees, lift the sit bones high, pushing into your hands, your shoulders, let them shrug up to your ears. Engaging Uddiyana Bandha, suck the navel to the back of the spine and then start to push your heels down. Straightening out the legs, drawing the shoulders down and back. And last thing is your gaze, tucking your chin in to look at the navel or behind the knees. Can you keep drawing the shoulders down and back and pushing the knees back? All of your energy lifting up towards that root chakra, Muladhara. Looking forward, inhale, step or hop, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach out to the side, Urdhva Hastasana, look to your thumb. Exhale, Samasthiti. Bringing your hands down to the side. Tadasana, mountain pose. Make sure the toes are tucked in slightly. Shifting your weight back into the heels. Engage all the way up the back of the legs. Activating your glutes, push your toes down. Inhale, lift the shoulders up, down, and back. And tuck that pinky finger behind the thighs, pulling the shoulder blades back, spreading the thumbs wide. Good. Lifting from the rib cage to the hips, compressing the rib cage in, and lifting from the rib cage to the shoulders. Good. Standing here and breathing. Ujjayi. Ujjayi in and Ujjayi out. Good. Surya Namaskar A, Hatha sequence. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step your right leg back. Exhale, step both legs back. Ashtanga Asana. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, Downward Dog. Inhale, right leg forward. Exhale, left leg forward. Fold forward. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. Hands rest by the side, Tadasana. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, stepping your left leg back. Exhale, Ashtanga Asana, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, Downward Dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, right foot, fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. Hands by the side, Tadasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, right leg back. Inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga or 8 limbs pose. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg forward. Exhale, left leg fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. Tadasana. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, left leg back. Inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga or Ashtanga Asana. Inhale, Cobra or up dog. Exhale, Downward Dog. Inhale, left leg forward. Exhale, step and fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, Samastitihi. Bring your hands down to Tadasana. So it's right leg back, right leg forward. Next round, left leg back, left leg forward. We'll do one more full round. Following the breath, I'll call out the Sanskrit. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, right leg back. Inhale. Exhale, Ashtanga Asana. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Shavasana. Inhale, right leg forward. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. Tadasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, left leg. Inhale. Exhale, Ashtanga Asana. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Shavasana. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. Good, let's break down that one time. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Weight into the heels, looking to the thumb. Breathing here, relax your shoulders down and back, lifting up through the torso. Good. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Fingertips and toes are on a similar line, bowing your head towards your knees. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana, halfway lift, coming onto the fingertips, just in front of the toes. Or maybe you have to go up a little higher till you feel those shoulder blades click back and the weight come forward in the foot. Ujjayi breath. So here we're trying to lift our head and our heart forward, but drawing the shoulders back and bringing your belly towards the thigh. Taking our right leg back, nice deep lunge, knees over the ankle, and the knees kind of in this little shoulder pocket. We're light on the fingertips, so the weight is bearing a lot in the legs, and we're just trying to find our flattest spine yet. So strong activation in your right glute. As we step back into Ashtanga Asana, knees, chest is dropping right in between the thumb line and chin. Inhale, Bhujangasana, cobra pose, elbows squeeze back. And it's the squeezing in the back body that lifts us up. Hands should feel light. Glutes are super active here. Keeping the shoulders and the back body extra compressed and contracted. Good. Tucking our toes, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. And finding that cue from the feet. Spread your toes wide, take a little bend in your knees, lifting the sit bones up, bringing your belly towards the thigh. And notice just here I say belly towards the thigh, not thigh towards the belly, right? We want to push the low back towards our thighs. Pushing into your hands, shoulders to the ears, and then slowly start to ground the heels, pushing the knees back, drawing the shoulders down and back. Brilliant. Inhale our right leg up, keeping our hips squared. So gaze back and try to find the big toe. Make sure it's pointing towards the ground. More energy through the right hand, through the right side body. And then exhale, step it right in between the hands. Good. High lunge, arms reach up. Taking a little bend in your back knee, we're going to tuck our tailbone, scooping it in kind of like a scared dog. And then keeping this activation of the hips and ribs compressing, ground through the heel again. Brilliant. Inhale, reach forward, lower body stays stable. Exhale, pull it back, cactus the arms. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, back. Whew, losing my balance. Make sure that you're grounding your heel directly down and towards your back foot. I know wherever you are is perfect. We have 90 days to perfect. We're only on day 5. Brilliant. Straightening out that front leg, drop the back heel, making sure that the feet are coming into a T. And then extending the arms out to the side, pull the hips back, reach forward, and just bring your left hand up. Extend the right hand beside the side of your ear. Good. Inhale, lift. We're going to keep this sort of V shape because we want this arm to be parallel with the floor. And exhale for your right arm to be parallel with the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, reaching the fingers forward. Once more. Exhale, let your hand come all the way down as a little bit of support. Left arm reaches up, look to the thumb. Squeezing the left glute. And trying to turn your right knee so that it's going a little more forward or even back is what it might feel like. Brilliant. Let both hands come to the ground. Stepping into our plank. Inhale high. Exhale, let the knees just come to an inch to hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knees bend. Try to keep the hips where they are. Leaning more into your toes. Holding steady through the shoulders. Toastmas. Beautiful. Dropping to the knees, sitting all the way back to your heels, hands resting on your thighs. Let's just integrate the energy we're feeling. Asking ourselves, where do we feel it? What does it feel like? It's always something. Too often we fool ourselves into thinking nothing is happening. To silence the cues, the hunger, the intuition. But what would happen if we just really listened to it all without judgment, without shame? What if we were just really honest about where we were? The triggers we still carry with us. Good. Coming up onto the knees. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, cactus the arms, pushing the elbow tips forward, opening the heart. Beautiful. And let's come back onto all fours to our downward dog. Lifting the left leg up, gazing at the toes, so we just don't want it to be turned out to the side. We're focusing more on our hamstring here. So you can kind of feel that the more your toe wraps down, it goes to like the outer edge of that right hamstring. And the more that it opens up, it comes more to the inside of your leg. So you have this sort of full control over which section of the hammies you actually want to stretch. Good, let's bring that knee forward. Step it to the top, high lunge. Grounding your heel down and back, keeping the glute active. Let's inhale, reach forward. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, cactus. Following the breath, just like that. What would this feel like to be more connected to Mula Bandha? Last one. Dropping that back heel. Straighten the legs out, just making sure you have the T and your stance isn't too wide. Take your hands to the side. Pulling the hip back, reaching down into Trikonasana. Good, now bring your left arm up to hug the ear, and let's inhale, tilt up. Exhale, fold. Looking to the left thumb, straight to the ceiling, reach up. And exhale, look to the right thumb. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Following the breath for just two more. Good, find the full stretch. Keeping the shoulder by the ear, and then come all the way to your triangle pose. Settling into the asana. Now just a bit more relaxed. Connect with your quads, with all parts of your body. Good, bring your hands to the ground. We're gonna inhale, kick our right leg up and back, three-legged dog, but keep looking forward. And then exhale, curl it in, knee to nose. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lift. Exhale. In and out. Step that foot in between the hands, coming up light on the fingertips and holding your belly just a little bit away from that upper thigh. Good, take the hands all the way back, runner's lunge. Interlace the hands, and inhale, start to lift up using your back leg as a ruler to guide you. Full heart opener. Good, dropping the back heel. Might need to walk your stance in a little bit, but we're gonna start to bow down, knee to shoulder. Now the full pose is humble warrior, where your forehead touches the ground. Challenge yourself, but also do what's comfortable and steady. Inhale, let's lift all the way up. Drop to the back of your mat, Skandasana. Good, now you know, always finding a little bit of movement. Moving the energy from all the sticky parts. Good, and as we walk forward, take your hands to the inside of that front foot. Pushing your knee to your shoulder, scoop up the foot, hover and hold. Doing the best you can to just press your knee to the outside of your shoulder. 3, 2, and 1. Drop that knee down, opening the hips back up. So you can kick your bottom foot out, kind of like a kickstand, swinging it behind you a little. It'll give you more stability. You can also walk your hand behind you a little bit so that you can really open the chest. We're gonna reach back, same foot, same hand, grabbing the ankle and kicking up. Good, now always think of those opposite poles of energy, right? When we're stretching from here to here, which means that they're both going in this direction, but then from here to here, they're both going in this direction. Same thing, if we're kicking up with our foot here, we need the same energy going into our hand here, so that we're always balanced, we're always equal. And it's kind of like no matter what pose we're holding, whatever point we're on, we're able to maintain the asana. Good, let's lower down. Hands under the shoulders, tucking your toes under. Inhale, arching the belly, cow, and cat. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, bring the knees to float. And we're just gonna walk them forward, back, little steps, forward, back, back. Using your fingertips, using your bandha to find lightness, and release. Brilliant, good job. Good job. Let's come back into downward dog. Taking our right leg up again. Toes wrapping down. Ooh, we already did the right side. Let's do the left side. Otra lado. Inhale, lifting the head, lifting the heel. Exhale, curl in. So it's kind of like a plank here, and then more like a downward dog. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold. Don't rush it. That's how injury happens. Try to be mindful of each pose between the poses. There's an infinite amount of asana happening here. Beautiful. Let's step that foot forward. Coming up onto the fingertips, super light. And just start to feel light enough that the hands can come back. Runner's lunge. Interlacing the hands behind the back. Lift the heart. Full back bend. Good, let's drop that back heel now. Coming into our humble warrior. So lots of energy in the baby toe. Just like in yesterday's twisting spiral fascia. Bring your knee and shoulder together, or maybe you can come all the way to the floor. Make sure the hands stay active, fingertips squeezing, ujjayi breathing. Coming all the way up. Releasing to the back of your mat, Skandasana. And letting yourself move and wiggle. And now let's take our hands to the top of our mat, knee presses to the shoulder. As best you can, bring the foot up, even if it's just right here, even if it's just by the side, keep trying to lift. Remember, you're trying to bring your heel back. Mula Bandha. Ujjayi for 3. For 2. For 1. Bring the knee down, open the hips so you can swing the foot out as a little kickstand. Bring your hand back a little. You're gonna start to open the chest, reaching for same ankle. So as much as I'm kicking with this right foot, I'm also pushing my left hand down to counterbalance the energy so I don't boing, fling all the way up. Let's release onto all fours. Letting your hands rest on your lap. Now, because this is a core practice and we're working so much with Manipura, it's not ideal to be lying down as much. We want that energy to be moving up, and if anything, utilizing more handstands, inversions, headstands, shoulder stand, because we are trying to open the channels and create a natural stream, a natural current that's already there, but it might have been dammed up by some other things. And that current wants to travel upward. It is its nature to go upward. Okay, let's come back up onto the knees. Inhale, reach your hands wide. Exhale, cactus the arms, dropping the hands back, elbow tips forward, squeeze the glute. Can you stay for just 2 breaths here? Keep your head tucked as you need. And release. Good, let's come back into our downward dog. Taking the right leg all the way up, bending the knee, opening the hips. Walk your hands back an inch just to help ground that heel. Bringing your face, shoulders equal towards the leg. Good, now exhale, take it all the way across, opposite elbow. Imagine it's trying to touch the back of your elbow. Inhale, lift up and open. Exhale around. Inhale, lift up and open. And exhale. So keep this right leg like a chicken leg. Compress the whole time so that it's nice and close to your bum. And on that 5th one, bring it to the elbow. Bring it to the other elbow, just like a windshield wiper. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step your foot forward, dropping the knee. We're gonna let everything sort of fan out. So push the knee away, push the hips down, gazing all the way over your shoulder. Good, half split. Place the foot a little further to the center and top of your mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, pull the toes back and fold. Again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folds. Unamas, inhale. Exhale. And this is a little challenge. We're going to start to lift up, putting lots of energy in our left leg, so pushing the top of your ankle down, squeezing the glute, and using your arms as balance. Can you bring that right leg up? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lunging all the way. Turn to the side, wide leg. Hang out here. Move it out. Taking from Ida to give to Pingala, Pingala to give to Ida. It is this balancing of our feminine and masculine hemispheres. It's the simultaneous strength we experience in the body, and yet softness we feel in our mind. And to hold and be held by ourselves, our essence, our energy, just our own love. This is the yoking they talk about in yoga. It's not the yoking of you with something else, it's the yoking of your inner worlds to become whole. Good. Taking our hands to the top of our mat. Let's sit back into downward dog. Taking the left leg up, bend the knee, open the hips. Nice big stretch. Walk your hands back a little if you need to. Bringing your face towards that leg. Shoulders are square. Keep the knee strong and bent. Exhale, take it across opposite elbow. Inhale, lifting up and open. Exhale across. Inhale to lift. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I feel like I lost count, so we're going to do one more to get to 5. Taking it to that opposite elbow and across and over and across for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Step that foot forward. Let the knee drop down. Let everything open wide. I'm really working on more flexibility in my psoas and in my hips, specifically for back bends, just because I feel a lot of it's coming from my low back and not enough from my quads. So every time I have an opportunity to engage these muscles, I've been taking it. It's also an opportunity and just a suggestion for you. You can totally rest here, but I just feel like I get to protect my knee a bit more and also just work on that flexibility. Beautiful. Let's take it back. Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, pull the toes back and fold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And out. Good. Now coming all the way up, we're going to test our balance. This is really just a recalibration of your pelvis, of your pelvic floor. So again, make sure that this back leg is fully active from the toes to the knee to the glute. Then using your arms as balance, Mula Bandha for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Little wobbly on that side, I must say. Little wobbly indeed. Whew. Good. Let's turn all the way to the side. Wide leg, forward fold. Excuse my cheeky little shorts. And inhale, taking a halfway lift. Again, just sway side to side. Left to right. And walking the hands to the top of our mat, step back into your plank. You're going to lower it down to the ground for kind of 8, 7, whole body touching at once. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands under the shoulders, point the toes back, squeezing the kneecaps up. Inhale, Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Good, now we're gonna start to lift our hands, but try to keep your heart high the whole time. Squeezing the glutes until your hands can just hover, chest is forward, Ujjayi. You don't have to lift so high. Just keep the shoulders back, the head up, and breathing for 5. Squeezing Mula Bandha, squeezing Uddiyana Bandha for 3. For 1. Pressing your hands down, lift all the way up, letting your head tilt back, bottom lip tucks over top lip. Coming down to the ground. Let's just take our left hand. So we're going to thread it under. I'm just going to mirror you here. So your shoulders sort of in the middle of the mat. And then hike your right leg up and start to open up the twist. Little integration pose. Twisting fully from the hips. You can kind of let that right arm play around like it's making a snow angel, just kind of any angel, fanning it up and down. Good, let's bring ourselves back onto our belly. We'll extend the opposite arm through, hiking up that left knee, and you can let your left hand just again explore like it's making little angel wings. Beautiful. Release. Coming onto our elbows. Let's reach back and grab our left foot, drawing it towards the leg. So if you're back here, that's good. Just try to keep it more in line with the outside of your leg. Ideally, your hand is pushing on the top of the toes, and then you have enough shoulder mobility so that your toes and fingers are facing the same way. So you can leverage the strength in your shoulder to then push the foot down. Okay, let's try the same thing on the other side. Grabbing the foot and pushing it all the way down. Good, and then maybe if you have both, grab your feet from the inside, start to push them down, fingertips facing forward, and then lifting up. Wherever you are, just notice the discomfort is part of the journey. And just be there. One more Ujjayi breath. And release. Coming up into child's pose. Just to release our low back. Good, now we're gonna try bow, but with the support of a pillow, and this really does help so much. Usually it's a bolster. Even if you have 2 pillows, a little bigger is better. We're gonna kind of rest that right underneath our hips. It's gonna act like a wedge. All right, so you can test if you were in like an upward dog, where would that wedge go in? So it's connected with your hips and the floor, okay? And so you're gonna fold over the pillow. It might feel weird on your belly at first. Grabbing the outsides of your feet, kick up, and then we can kind of use that wedge as a little extra support to find that lift so we can focus on the right alignment, activating our glutes, our shoulders, our mula bandha. Finding your breath wherever you are, staying active, staying strong, and releasing down. Good. Let's release onto all fours. Being mindful of our core. And just start to make some wild cat postures. So wild cat is when your hips are just sort of exploring all possibilities. Going through cat-cow, making some C shapes, left and right. Good. And so now let's come down to our forearms. Now, if a headstand is part of your pose already, that's amazing. You can go to headstand. We're gonna go over sort of the foundation of it, tripod headstand, so you guys can start to feel safe. It is ideal if you have a wall or anything to put that there. So imagine if this couch was my wall, I'm gonna put my feet towards the wall and just sort of back up enough so that your feet are kind of close so that you can feel supported to walk up it or to fall down it. Now the main point is that you're grabbing your elbows. We're gonna anchor them on the mat. So your elbows do not move. They should not be wider than that because let's think about it. The wider they are, now you're balancing on this much space. The closer they are, now you have this much space to balance with, right? So you want to make sort of an equilateral triangle, interlacing the hands, and your head is going pretty much 85% on the floor and about 15% in the hands. So again, it's acting like a wedge, all right? Now you want to make sure you're pushing your elbows down. So see how my shoulders go down and back. Pushing and activating the arms. And then we're going to start to lift up our knees and just find some lightness here. Okay, now there is a little bit of weight coming onto your head, but keep the elbows active so it's not too much, especially as you're building strength. As we are holding here and building that stamina, you can try bringing one leg in, compressing the heel to the bum, and maybe you find a little bit of lift on the other toe. Coming to the other side, being aware of your neck. Remember, it's always okay to come down. But essentially, we're squeezing so much in Mula Bandha that we should start to find a lift in that other foot and start to stack. Now, once we're stacked, it actually becomes a little easier because our center of gravity is directly over the spine. So it's a lot more strong. And our elbows are there to help us. Now, again, you're just holding with your feet on the floor, lifting your hips, and trying to sense Mula Bandha, because your Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha is what's going to lift you up here. Coming all the way down, sit on your heels, and come up to seated, closing your eyes. Just returning to the breath. So once our core is activated, it becomes a lot more accessible inversions because everything is kind of stemming from how secure we can make our spine. If our core is weak and we have no stability to hold our hips over our shoulders, this is gonna fall everywhere and we become really unstable and cause injury. But when we're strong here, so starting your inversion classes with some core, pairing them together so that you're already feeling that sense of tightness, of full alignment, of strength. And then you can apply that because it's not so much about what's happening, on your balancing hip, like a little bit. It's more so what's happening inside. All right, brilliant. So now we're gonna come to dolphin pose. Same thing, you're grabbing your elbows so that you know how wide they are. We always think our Shoulders are much wider than they are. Fingertips are sort of making an L shape, little frame. We're gonna come back into dolphin pose. Good, so same thing. If you're just getting used to building strength in your shoulders and your hands, you're staying right here in dolphin pose, trying to walk your feet closer and closer. And just keeping your head, if you start to see your biceps, the peripherals of your arms, your head is too far back, and you need to work on pushing the elbows so that your head comes through. And you see how that starts to make a straight line. Then we can start to lift one leg up, again finding light, maybe even a little hop. And other side. Kicking with the leg, little hop. Pushing your head through the arms. And lowering down. Just closing your eyes and feeling the energy. Remember, asanas are really working with gravity to pull all the heaviness from the hips up to the heart. Recalibrating, clarifying. Tune into the fact that there's a lot more happening here beyond just your physical body. There are other bodies working in action. Coming into a sense of oneness. Let's come down onto our bums. Just nice casual arms. Plant them behind you, facing out to the side. Lifting the hip high. Press into your feet. Inhale. And exhale, lion's breath. Inhale, dropping down. Exhale, lion's breath. Inhale, bringing your fingers to face the bum a little bit more. Exhale, lion. In and out. In and out. Holding. You can tuck your chin in and walk your feet so that they are no wider than your hips, maybe even a little closer, pushing down through the big toe. Extend your right leg out, lifting the hips a little up more, holding 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the right leg, lifting the left. Inhale, Ujjayi 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, spread the feet wide, lift the hips up. Holding Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Squeezing through the fingertips, through the glutes. And release. Take the legs wide, wide-legged forward folds. Good. Now, so often I see people in their forward fold, and their feet are like this. And you know what this is telling me? That your calves are so tight that they're pulling the ankle back. So rule 101 in forward fold is to pay attention to your feet. They're telling you about the fascia in the rest of your leg. They're telling you about the fascia in your shin, the fascia in your knee, the fascia in your hamstring. Because in order to lift up here and activate, we need to push our heel down so that we are using our core to float here. And now you see that I'm controlling my forward fold. I'm not just relying on gravity and whatever alignment happens to be there. So maybe you even have to take your feet a little closer. Focus on sitting up taller so you can feel the heels dig down. And once you feel them dig, your knees should squeeze. They should squinch up, right? Once you feel that squinch, then try to tilt. Tilt and hold. And if you can hold, let the chin hover so that you're staying active. You're not collapsing. Keep expanding and breathing. Inhale, come all the way up, swing the legs together. Bring your hands behind you, point your toes. Inhale, lifting your hips up, up, up. Ujjayi breathing, 5. Ujjayi 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Laying all the way down onto our backs. Good. So just let the natural weight of your knees compress the legs towards your belly. We have one last exercise here before our pranayama practice. So let's take our right arm under. Let's take our right leg under. Inhale, let the fingertips and toes tap towards the ground, and exhale to curl to touch. In, out, in, out. Breathing, following the breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the arms wide and let your legs fall to the right side, keeping that twist in the legs. And gaze all the way towards your left hand. Inhale back to center. Taking our left leg under, left arm under. Inhale, tapping overhead. Exhale. In, out. In, out. In, out. 4, out. 5, out. 6, out. 7, out. 8, out. 9, out. 10, out. Open the hands, let your legs fall to the left side, staying in eagle legs, looking all the way to the right. Good. Coming back to center. Find your way onto the center of your mat. Reaching your fingertips towards your ankles. Inhale, lift the hips up, wrapping your shoulders down and back. Watching your belly. Inhale, expanding that diaphragm out. And in. Inhale. Exhale. In and out. Once more. And lower. Good. Bringing your hands flat onto the mat. We're just going to do little reverse crunches. So just bringing your knees towards the chest and trying to utilize our lower belly, the lower abdomen to create this compression. And ideally, we're able to use just our core to come all the way up and over into plow and all the way down. Good, all the way over. Oop, my couch is in the way. And all the way down. Good. So as you're coiling up, feel how it starts right low, like as low as you can by the linea alba. And then as you lift your legs higher, going to the center, going to the sternum, going all the way up towards the clavicles, and back down. Going all the way up, and back down. Good, once more, let's come into plow. Need to make more space. Supporting your low back or interlacing your fingers together, reaching the pinky finger towards the ground. Try to tuck your chin in so that there's actually not weight on the spine. And what happens here is you roll your shoulders so far back that the fatty part on the scapula kind of creates a little bit of a buffer, a little bit of a tunnel for the spine to rest in. Good, now while we're here, can you kind of think of a little cat-cow? Pulling the hips back, drawing it in, pulling the hips back, drawing it in. Supporting our low back, let's bring our hands up into shoulder stand. Squeezing the labunda, big toes together, pointing the feet up. And then we call this a floint, where you sort of flex the toes, but point through the padding of that big toe. Good, now this is fully an advanced pose, but this is somewhere you are working towards, where the hands come up to the shoulders. And you are balancing just on the neck. Good, feel the energy reaching up as high as you can. And then lowering the feet back overhead. Bring the hands to the mat. Let's all unroll. So for a count of 20, first 10 is to bring our hips down. Last 10 is to bring the feet down. Unrolling vertebrae by vertebrae. 10, 9. Try to keep your feet, your legs close to your face. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing with your feet perpendicular to the floor. Take an inhale and exhale for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Laying all the way down on your mat. Let's take a moment of relaxation in your Shavasana posture. Ujjayi breathing. Ujjayi 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly turn yourself to one side and bringing yourself up to seated. Finding a comfortable seat now that our body is prepared for breathing, prepared for meditation. Today's practice is breath of fire as it correlates with Manipura, our solar plexus. Breath of fire, aka Kapalabhati. It's about igniting our inner Agni. So the same way when you blow on a flame, how it ignites its spark and causes a fire to blow brighter. We are thinking that with each exhale, we are blowing on our inner flame from the root, from the boiling coals and embers of our root, of our sacral Muladhara, Svadhisthana, And we are blowing that energy, that pranic energy, up to the heart where it can be expelled through the channel of love, okay? So on a casually deep note, that is what we are doing, but on a more anatomical note, we are just inhaling and exhaling. So the inhale is kind of passive, it's just happening, and we're focusing on an exhale, flick of the belly. In, out. So you see as the inhale comes, it's just kind of naturally following the exhale because that's what needs to happen. Our main focus is on the exhale. So let it be a sort of 1-to-1 ratio and just finding a tempo that feels like home. We're going to find 3 practices of this. So let's just find a nice tall spine. We are already nice and warm from our asana practice. So inhale to exhale. Begin. Inhaling fully, retaining the breath, holding, and letting it go. Just sit with the sensation of just even a small component of your pranayama practice. Reframing our idea of what a full practice looks like, what we have time for, and to rekindle our experience with even the most simple practices done with intention. How even just one deep breath is enough to change all your thoughts, all of your energy. Coming into round 2, inhale to exhale, and begin. Beautiful, just keep going at that tempo, at that pace. We're almost halfway there. Five, four, three, two, one. Inhale. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and now adding in Jalandhara Bandha. This is our chin lock. Dropping the chin down and imagining a seal just in the throat. And release. We have one final round, just going a little longer this time. We did 50, 100, and now we're doing 150 breaths of Kapalabhati. So where I am keeping count, but you're also welcome to count in your head. Sometimes I find it's helpful to gauge my efforts. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale. Begin. Beautiful, we're almost halfway there. Just keep breathing through the nose, in and out. Remember to sit tall through your spine, sitting with attention, awareness, strength. Inhale all the way. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. Sipping in a little more air, hold even longer. Persevering your breath retention. As we approach our 1 minute mark, you can release or keep holding. The breath comes easy for us, different days, different periods in our life. Holding the breath to nudge out our container of discomfort, our garden of discomfort. Approaching 90 seconds, just release and let yourself slip into a meditation. As we reflect upon the practice of yoga and what it means to us to practice. What does it mean when we come to our mat? With what devotion are we serving? Asking ourselves if it's a practice we always use to heal and to mend. Practice we come to fix what's broken inside of us. Sometimes to fix what's broken outside of us. But how often is it a practice of just bliss, where the poses come easy, where the mind is flexible and soft, when we breathe without struggle and we sit without haste. How often do we come to our practice just 'cause? To practice as though it is our simple duty as humans to practice giving and receiving love. To practice sitting with our discomforts and our triggers. To help us practice just being who we are in sheer and utter acceptance. May our mantra today be, I am healed. I am healing. I am growing. I am moving forward in life in the direction that I choose and that I want. I am not something to fix, for I am not broken. And I accept the polarities of my life, all as colors of the rainbow. Everything I feel and think and am is necessary. And I enjoy the journey of discovering who I am, so I can let it all go. For the more I discover, the more I get to set free. I surrender to my path, for it is one I have chosen. I am exactly where I'm meant to be, in all of its glory and hardships. I will persevere. Finding just a few moments of silence, practicing what we like to call metta meditation, which is just sending love to all beings, to all persons, to all of nature, the cosmos, to whatever relevance or irrelevance they may have. Just can feel their name or sense their energy, their face. Just in general, sending a beam of love out from your heart to theirs. We will close our practice today by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale. Allow yourself to sit in your practice for a few moments longer, taking at least 5 to 10 minutes to be without your phone, without screens. Just journal, observe nature, be with your loved ones. And thank you yourselves for practicing. Namaste.